Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vimoh Live. Welcome to the Saturday live stream where we take callers and talk to people about atheism and contemporary social issues. This live stream also happens on Wednesday, but the Wednesday stream has been classified as members only since last week. So from now on, Saturday episode is the only weekly episode that will happen. I will take callers, I will read comments, I'll do everything. The Wednesday live stream will be for members only. If you want to watch the Wednesday stream and support this channel, you can do so by clicking the join button below and becoming a member. You can also support this channel by going to patreon.com/Vimo and becoming a patron with a monthly or an annual pledge. Another way of supporting this show is to send money directly to Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH at the rate UPI. You know how to do it. You have an app. Also, you can go to my website at www.vimo.in and click on the support button there to make a contribution of any amount of your choice. You can oh wait, that's all. That's all the methods. I'm a little disoriented because the loop stopped working in the middle and my face showed up and I panicked. And then I was just watching everything to see if everything is all right. But I think audio video is okay. If there is any problem, let me know. I will now share the link through which people can join. It will be pinned to the top of the chat, and you can click on it and come on screen. I had mistakenly shared this also for a brief second, during which one person joined and I had to remove them. But yeah, this link is now pinned to the top of the chat. If you click it, you can come on screen and talk with me. Uh, okay. Right. So that person is already back. Varun, wait. Let me just read a couple of comments, and then I'll take you. Anyone else who wants to talk, come. I will. I promise. I will give priority to the people who disagree with me or want to debate or want to, uh, you know, uh, or have a view that is not mine. I will do my best to convince you, and you can do your best to convince me. We'll talk. I have also shared the link on Instagram, and people can come through there. So there might be a crowd today. But let's see. There are already 50 people. Let's start. Everyone who's on the queue, go to the private chat section on the right and tell me what you want to talk about. It helps me make better decisions. More data means better decisions. So let's look at some of the comments. Surya says, knowing that private companies are anti-worker, I'm curious to know if there are private companies that are very pro-worker in terms of policies, working conditions, wages, etc. See, if by private you mean not government controlled, then yes, companies can exist which are cooperatives, where every worker is a partner, right? But mostly when we talk about private companies, we mean companies owned by one person or one group or one bunch of people, and everyone else just gets wages. And those wages are constantly driven down in order to raise profits. That is why we call it an exploitative system. Titan says conservative religious people are hypocrites as they never follow good things of the religion, like to help the needy. But they will take all the authoritative rules of the religion seriously and will force others to follow them also. Your thoughts on it? I think it's a bit of a cop out to say that the problem is that the religion has good things to teach, but some people don't follow it well. I think there's plenty of bad stuff in there also, and in general also this is kind of a uh, generic statement, and I would need to know exactly what teachings you're talking about, which religion you're talking about, in order to give you a better answer to that. Hi Layman, thank you for being a member. Hi Cloud, thank you for being a member. Cloud says, do Hindu atheists really exist? Cloud, I don't think so. But there are people who call themselves Hindu atheists. What to do? So let me just remind everyone who's joining in the queue. I had prepared a warning. Hold on. Uh, you can join me on screen by clicking the link pinned to the top of the chat. But please understand, by joining, you are consenting to appear on video and audio. बाद में आके मत बुलाने कि मेरा वीडियो हटा दो क्योंकि वो मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा. If you have problem with your face being on screen, don't turn on your webcam. Just come with audio, right? बोल दिया मैंने, पहले से बोल दिया. Right. So let's take our first caller, which was the first person to join, I think. Varun wants to talk about his personal identity crisis. Hi, Varun. You're online. Varun, I can't hear you. Hello? Is it just Varun or the audio bad? Let me check my audio. No, audio is working. Varun, your audio is not working. Please reconnect your device and come back. Until then, I will take Imran. Hi, Imran. You're online.
Hi, Vimoh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
So, Vimoh, I think you have read the comment I provided in the private chat.
Huh. Do you want me to read it out?
No, no, I'm just asking. So my
Let me read it out for other people. Do you mind if I read it out?
yeah, yeah, you can read it out.
Imran says, I want to talk about the dilemma I'm facing nowadays as an atheist. I don't disagree with you, but I want to discuss it for my better understanding as an atheist. Okay, go on. Tell me, what is the dilemma?
So dilemma is that I am an atheist from like past 5 or 6 years.
Hmm.
Uh, but nowadays, when I am learning, I became atheist out of my choice,
Okay,
not because of the religion I'm hating that. No.
okay.
But nowadays, when I am learning because of the political scenarios, I am learning about other religion and my own religion as well.
Hmm.
So I am kind of hating it, and when I am hating it, I because I there are people in my house who practice religion very seriously.
Hmm.
Uh, so when I am convincing them that this is wrong and these practices doesn't make any sense,
Hmm.
uh, still when I see the scenario happening in the world,
Hmm.
I feel like that I'm not in a position, like I am no one to tell them that why you should not practice that.
Hmm.
And as an atheist, as a rational person, I can see the problems in my own religion, but how can I convince my family members or my friends, or because of my religion always took out something from me, it doesn't give me anything. That's why I
Hmm.
left my religion, because it doesn't serve me.
Okay, you don't want to name your religion?
uh, I'm a Muslim.
You're a Muslim. So the
ex
religion you're
ex
talking
Muslim.
about, you're an
Yeah,
ex-Muslim,
yeah,
but the religion you're talking about is Islam.
yeah.
Okay. So why do you want to change your family's minds?
See,
Are they
not
being
the fact.
so here's the thing, like you left your religion because of certain reasons. I don't know why that is, but you said that it was not because of hatred for your religion. You became an atheist for what reason? Like, just rational understanding of the universe?
Yeah, because I don't like the idea of religion, because of the inequality, because of
Oh, okay,
the
okay. So social
divide
reasons.
between the. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So when you say you want your family to change also, exactly what damage is your religion doing to your family?
uh, the religion is not doing any damage, but because they wanted me to, they expect me to follow the religion. They don't want me
Oh,
to
okay.
see as an atheist. And whenever I am like talking about my friends who are from different religion,
Hmm.
they get triggered, and I don't like the idea of this differences between the people.
Okay. So, do your family know that you're an atheist?
I told them, but they don't accept it. they
As in,
they know
accept it
that
as in they
they said.
when you said they don't accept it, do they refuse to believe that you no longer believe in God, or do they tell you we don't accept that you're an atheist, you must believe?
They say that you are just brainwashed. You are listening to these YouTubers and all,
Okay,
and they don't know nothing, and you are refusing the great idea. That's why.
okay. So your problem is not that they believe you're okay with it. Your problem is just that they want you to change also.
Yeah.
So is there any risk of that happening?
I mean, the more they will push me, the more I will be hating my religion. And
Ah, okay.
if I want to like talk to someone who is like, because I am in a position where I am not facing any uh, issues happening with the minorities.
Hmm.
I am like on a position where I can't directly face any issues, But
Hmm.
someone who is facing these issues on a daily basis, on a politically level or on a
Hmm.
socially level,
Hmm.
uh, then I can see the damage. And if I am talking to them, I am no longer a person who can empathize with them because I just hate this religion.
Okay. Okay. So it's I can actually understand the issue because I have uh, spoken to at least a couple of people in the recent past where they're ex-Muslims, and because of the political goings on, because of the anti-Muslim bigotry prevalent in society, they find themselves going back to their religion because there is cultural affinity there. So I can understand this problem, and unfortunately, there isn't much that can be done about it. My advice would be you don't believe in God. I would advise you that if your reason behind abandoning your religion is emotional, try to turn it into a rational reason. Like, I don't believe it because it's bad and I hate it. Ki jagah, I don't believe it because there is no reason to believe it. It's nonsense. If you do that, na, then the emotional response to it will probably go away. And then your family trying to convince you will become like, I'm not saying that your reason is not valid. You can totally hate your religion and leave it, right? But it has been the experience of many people that if you leave something for emotional reasons, tomorrow another emotional reason can take you back to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it actually makes sense.
Yeah. So,
So when
go on.
Yeah, I was just asking, when you are saying that try to convert it into a rational reason.
Hmm.
So I just want to understand of how can you judge that this reason is rational?
You can educate yourself on the scientific inaccuracies. You can educate yourself about the logical problems in your religion's narrative, and you can make that the basis of your rejection. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like there are social reasons, right? A thing can be scientifically accurate and still socially discriminatory, and in that case, it makes total sense to abandon it, right?
Hmm. Yes.
But a thing, when rejected for scientific reasons, there is less emotion in the equation, and then you'll be more confident in your rejection of the religion. And even if people tell you why can't you just follow the rituals, you will not be affected by it, because there are many atheists who are like, yeah, I don't believe in God, I don't believe this ritual does jack shit, but I enjoy spending time with my family and I dress up and I eat good food and that's enough, right? सो उन लोगों को ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता कि उनको जब उनकी फैमिली कहती है कि यू हैव टू कम बैक, दे फील लाइक आई मस्ट गो बैक बिकॉज देर you become more confident in your position. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Understood. Understood.
I don't know if this will work for you. It's just advice from someone who doesn't know you. So take it with a pinch of salt and try it. And if it doesn't work, then you can always call back.
Yeah, yeah. Even I was thinking. I think I will come back again,
Hmm.
but I need a thought on it.
Yeah, please do. Definitely. Thought is always a good thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Vimoh.
Is that all? Thank you. Thank you, Imran.
Yeah, and thank you so much for the contribution you did in my life.
I wonder if it was a contribution, but thank you anyway. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.
Bye.
That was Imran. Let us go back to our previous person. Let's hope their audio works now. Varun.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go on.
Yeah. So, hi, Vimo. It is your streams are always a pleasure to see,
Okay.
and so my
Thank
question
you.
is like I'll have to give a bit of a context to
Mhm.
come to my question. So I'll do it as quickly as possible. So I was never religious. My parents and me were never religious from my childhood,
Mhm.
and but I have just recently, after seeing your streams and Pranav streams, uh, come to like I have decided to call myself an atheist and like get away from everything.
Hmm.
So it has not led to like any problems because of my privilege, and like I belong to a Savarna background, so
Hmm.
So, but now the thing is that I'm getting married in January.
Okay,
So
congratulations. I hope.
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
happy about it?
it
Okay, good.
yeah, that's not an issue. But it's an arranged marriage, and like again, so I think like my parents, though they are very progressive, still hold on to some of the patriarchal and brahminical practices, and that is like that realization, of course, makes you think a lot. And my only thing is like I have tried to resist as much as possible to for the rituals to be as minimal as possible, but I have to maybe compromise or something.
Hmm.
And so my only question is, in the future I also aim to create content, and like you, and for
Okay, I see.
this. And so w- I'm just, it's just a fear in my mind, so will I be a hypocrite for that? So, or
Hmm.
because it's an arranged marriage with the same caste, and but I'm going outside, and I fully acknowledge my privileges. I'll not hide anything from anyone, but it's my mind is split into two, whether I am a
Okay,
hypocrite or
I
should I
get it.
do
I
it.
get it.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, I'm not a huge fan of the idea that you need to be perfect in
Hmm.
every way
Okay.
before you take your first step towards something good,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
I think this prevents a lot of people from doing good.
Hmm.
Secondly, if you think that you will be hypocritical, tell me in exactly what way will it be hypocritical? Do you think that you enter an arranged marriage and the person you're marrying and your families, etc., they're all religious, right?
No, like the person I'm marrying is a bit more religious, but like I've had talks with her, and I've explained my position to her, and she's
Hmm.
fine. So like nobody is that religious also, but more than religion, the caste and the patriarchal and the brahminical,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
rituals and all those, I also have a problem with those, because I have
Okay.
heard what you have said and everybody has
Do
said.
you
So
think, I get it, I get it.
yeah.
Do you think that like how big an issue is this going to be? Like if you enter this marriage
Hmm.
and you become part of all these things,
Hmm.
how big a problem, two questions, how big a problem is all this going to be in the way of you creating content about social awareness?
Hmm.
And second question, how big a problem is content creation going to be for the familial relationships that you're about to enter?
So I can answer the second part first. The second part I'm not that sure about.
Hmm.
So I think they will be okay, but as I said, like they could have some problems with it. So I don't exactly know about the second part. The
Hmm.
first part, I just, maybe I'm thinking from the perspective of the people's reaction to me. It's like I
Okay.
I think this the
Like the
marriage.
reaction of your audience,
Yeah,
of your future audience? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think apart from this marriage thing, I think nothing else in my future will cause any such. I will not be resorting to rituals and all after the marriage or such. But I
Hmm.
think this is just a big, because of what I'm like, what the change I've been. So I can now see, okay, this is wrong and this is like a old topic. But I also have to like maybe compromise on my side a little to be okay. Like let this be over with. So maybe I'm just in like
Hmm.
a bit confused in my own mind. Am I do? Is it okay? How much should I resist and how much should I compromise? That also is a bit.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think what you can, first of all, you are obviously a good person because there are plenty of people on the internet who are living double lives. Like
Hmm.
they'll create content about a certain cause or something, and then in their real life, they will be totally hypocritical about it. Totally.
Okay.
The fact that you are worried about it
Hmm.
makes me think that you at least a conscientious person who does not want to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And if you're starting from that place, then it is very clear what you have to do, right? Whatever presence the toxic practices that you want to speak up about have in
Hmm.
your life, try to undo them and be
Okay.
honest with your audience.
Hmm.
If your audience, like if you say that my family practices untouchability, but I try to create content about caste awareness,
Hmm.
your audience will say that's hypocritical, and they will not be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fortunately,
Of course, of course.
fortunately, you realize this,
Hmm.
right? I'm a content creator. I talk about a bunch of things. It is not as if my family is free from all those problems. My extended family, I mean. Like
Hmm.
in this house, we are cool, but my extended family, there are people who have problems with what I do, who are perpetrators of the systems that I speak against, right?
Hmm.
Some of them don't talk to me. Some of them talk to me but are guarded about it. So
Hmm.
these are problems that you are going to face when you start. But my understanding is that since you're already aware of the problem, there is nothing really that I should need to tell you. You already know what to do. You already know why you want to do it, what the right thing is. So get on that path. And in the meantime, start your content creation journey also.
Okay, okay,
Because
yeah.
maybe the processes that you use to detoxify your social life will become useful for your content. And as I said,
Hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of the fact that unless you're absolutely perfect, you can't create content. You appear to be a good person. You understand your privilege. You are willing to, you're willing to do something about it. So start. And in due course of time, hopefully, whatever problems were going to happen in your family as a result of this will happen. Because the problems that you're afraid of,
Hmm.
go forward with the understanding that they will happen at some time.
Yeah.
Don't try to escape them. Don't try to avoid them.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, I'll start, and if there is some problem, then let's see. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
come back and give my report on it.
yeah, we can always talk about it. Thank you,
Yeah,
Varun.
sure, sure. No, not an issue. Yeah. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye. That was Varun. Sorry about the tech issues with this caller. There was a couple of attempts. Before I proceed, let me just. Okay. Rohit Saxena, thank you for becoming a member. Did I already thank you? No, I haven't. Rohit, thank you for becoming a member. Uh, let's see. किधर है? Who else? Who else? राज मुखेकर करके कोई हैं. किधर है? राज, you're online. Go on.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Raj.
Okay, so there are some evidences about God and ancient technology.
Can you
Obviously, I
speak a
don't
little?
believe.
Can you speak a little louder, Raj?
Hello, can you hear me?
हाँ.
Hello,
हाँ, सुनाई दे रहा है, बोलो.
hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There are some evidences supporting God, but I actually don't believe them. But
Okay.
I just want to hear a explanation about them. Like there's a
Okay.
picture that NASA got recently. Means it was many years ago, but it was like a mystic mountain named thing, and religious people claim that it is a picture of Vishnu. So, what? How can we
What
counter
was
this argument?
what was the picture?
It was looking like more like a human, and the religious people claim it to be Vishnu.
So could it not be some other human? First of all, I haven't seen the picture you're talking about, but the people finding patterns in objects is not new at all. There are people who find images of Jesus on bread. There are people who find images of certain Arabic letters in the clouds and stuff. This is not new at all. So I don't know what exactly you are speaking about when you say that they saw a
You can search
face
it on
somewhere.
Google. Actually, it's called Mystic Mountain.
It's called Mystic Mountain. Hold on.
So I've been facing a discrimination among my friends about the thing that I'm atheist. So shall I debate them or not? What do you recommend me?
Mystic Mountain is a nebula in space. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, hold on. Let me share it on screen. We'll get to your second question in a second. Hold on. Share screen. Mystic Mountain tab. Share. Is this what you're talking about? Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's take a look at it and see if it looks like Vishnu. Do you think it looks like Vishnu?
Well, not really.
Then tell them that not really. इसमें इतना मुश्किल क्या है? This looks like it's a nebula, right? Do you know the meaning of the word? Like the word nebulous comes from nebula, and the word nebulous means unclear. The literal meaning of what we are looking at is unclear. So anyone can look at this and come to any conclusion. इसमें विष्णु कहाँ है? It can I think it looks like Loki big Loki in the season 2 finale. It can look like that also. So how do we come to any conclusion about what this is and what this is supposed to mean? Let me show you something else.
I have
Let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you something else. There's this person who found pictures of dogs in wooden furniture. Here, let me just share it on screen. It's a Instagram reel, and here, see, it's wooden furniture with some knots in it. Can you see it?
no, it hasn't appeared on the screen yet.
It hasn't appeared, but I can see it. Can you see it now?
Oh yes, now I can see it.
Yeah, you see, this is all wooden furniture, and all those patterns they look like faces of dogs. No, do you see
I
it,
have
Raj?
hello, can you hear
Huh?
me? Hello,
I
can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Go on. I can hear you.
I have an, I have another question regarding
No,
atheism.
no. First,
So
tell me that now. You hold on. First, tell me this. You saw that those things look like dogs, right?
yes, it is
Yeah. So
it is a coincidence that religious people talk about, but they don't realize
it's
it.
more than coincidence. It's also about pattern seeking. The things that we see are often things that we are looking for, and some things we are more likely to see because we are genetically programmed through thousands of years of millions of years of evolution to become aware of them. For example, we are more likely to see shapes of snakes because we are genetically programmed to notice snakes as soon as possible because snakes can be dangerous to us. This is why you find so
But
many people
but
saying that
the
in my sleep
problem
I
is,
saw.
how can I explain this to a religious person?
You can tell them about this. You can tell them that pattern recognition is a thing and that what they're looking at can be interpreted as something else by someone else. Somewhere else on earth, a person who has never heard of Vishnu will look at it and think of it as a spaceship. The reason they see the image of Vishnu in that nebula is not because it looks like Vishnu, it's because they are seeing something that they already have seen elsewhere. अभी वो लकड़ी में हमको
I'm
डॉग्स क्यों दिख रहे थे? बिकॉज़ वी नो व्हाट डॉग्स लुक लाइक, राइट?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the
Can
answer.
I move to the next question?
Yeah, go on. Make this your last one, huh?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So my there is a mandir in the south which talks about fertilization. So this they give religious people give as a proof to me
Mhm.
as ancient technology. They had microscopes in the ancient India.
Okay. What is this mandir? Do you have the image?
Yes, I have the image.
Okay. Can you share it in the private chat so I can open it on screen? But in any case, either way,
Just a second.
what proof of microscopes do they give you?
There is just a carving of a sperm cell combining with a ovum cell.
Okay. Show me the image.
And
Or you can just tell me what to search for and I can open it myself. Maybe that will be faster. Okay,
yes,
got it. So you've
the
sent
search carving of
Pinterest link. Got it.
just search it on Google.
Found it. You shared the link,
There are a
right?
lot of
No, someone else shared the link. Rahul
uh,
shared the link. Let me just open it on screen and you can tell me if this is the one we are talking about. Share. Is this what you're talking about? Arey yaar. Is this what you were talking about? Ancient Indians knew signs of fertilization without a microscope. Here are the wow facts. Is this what you're talking about?
yes, but
Okay, so
the picture did not appear on the screen yet.
हाँ आ जाएगा थोड़ा टाइम लग रहा है आई थिंक तुम्हारी तरफ बट पिक्चर स्क्रीन पे आ चुका है So what we have here is a round thing and a couple of
Okay.
shapes that look like snakes. Hello?
Yes, that's right. That's exactly the picture I'm talking about.
Yeah, so here we have a composite image that is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 images. There is no evidence here that this was on the same temple wall, right? The sperm cells and the ovums that you were talking about appear to be uh, the round thing appears to be an eclipsed moon or something because there is a crescent moon shape inside a bigger circle, and the thing that you were describing perhaps as the sperm cell looks most definitely like a cobra because it has a wider front side, like a cobra's hood. There is another picture of some people maybe holding a pregnant person to comfort them, and there are some separate images of some people of some humanoid shapes in fetal position, presumably, right? First of all, this is not on the same wall. These are all different pictures put together. Secondly, the ovum and the semen cell apparently it does not appear to be an ovum and a semen cell. The ovum looks like a crescent moon, and the semen cell looks like a snake. And thirdly, the fact that there is fetus position में people is you don't need a microscope for that. People in ancient times knew that babies are in a fetal position inside. This is because miscarriages used to happen, and when miscarriages happened, or someone died in childbirth, or someone died before childbirth, and their body was opened up, babies were found to be in that position. People had miscarriages in the first trimester, in the second trimester, and the third trimester. So we had a general understanding of what the baby inside the womb looks like in every stage, right? So उसके लिए कोई एडवांस साइंस की जरूरत नहीं है. And the other things I just explained. Does that satisfy you? Raj? Raj? Raj, you're on mute. Okay, Raj has muted himself. Apparently दिवाली की वजह से बैकग्राउंड में पटाखे फूट रहे थे. Raj, you're on mute. Okay, I'm taking Raj off, and maybe when they come back, we'll talk more. Hmm, right. So let me just take a look at the comments. See if there are any member comments. Okay, there are a couple of super chats. There is Raghunath Ramdasan with $1.99. Thank you, Raghunath. Much appreciated. Then there is Atheist Rationalist with 1,000 rupees. Atheist Rationalist, thank you so much for the contribution. I'm atheist for last 2 months and it's an amazing experience. Earlier, I was so-called rationalist, rationalizing chance, luck as favor of God. but now I have started seeing things scientifically, logically, rationally, and listening to you has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, atheist rationalist. Although I'm a little confused about your use of the word rationalist in the first part of the sentence and the second part. You said that you were a rationalist and now you're rational. I think you're applying two different meanings there, but in any case, I'm happy that you're happy. And again, thank you for the 1000 rupees super chat. So let's look at. Has Raj come back? Raj, have you come back? You're on mute. Nope, Raj appears to have gone away. Let us remove Raj and move on to the next caller. Let's see who else is there. Mhm, mhm. So there is a decoloniality debate waiting to happen between, not a debate. I think we may even agree on certain things. Uh, let's see. I'll take Rohit Saxena. Where is Rohit? Hi, Rohit.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Or
very clearly.
yes,
Thank
okay.
you.
As they say, am I audible in India? Okay. Um, so first of all, I'd like to commend you, Vimoh, for the awesome work you're doing. I've been
Thank you.
watching your content, I think, for about a month or so now. I
Hmm.
recently joined you, through Patreon and all those things from the US, and
Hmm.
I could go on and on with your praises, but let me get to my point. Um, so last week in your the stream of which you thumbnailed as 70-hour work week, you criticized the West, and I'm paraphrasing here. I think
Hmm.
you said something about, well, you used more colorful language, but something about messing up the world. And I,
I'm not
I know that
remembering
you meant
exactly. Can
largely,
you? I'm not remembering exactly which was the West messing up the
well, I
world.
mean, you were mostly talking about the colonialism and how, that has messed up a lot of things, including the
You mean
context of
capitalism?
I was talking with the colonialism, but yeah, I mean, the capitalism was part of that conversation
I
also.
so I don't. I think capitalism has gone beyond West East, but colonialism I don't remember speaking about. But in any case, go
Well,
on.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
when you're talking about the Israel Palestine stuff and things like that,
Hmm.
you basically said,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
because of the
Europeans.
colonial this thing, a lot of
Ah,
things,
yeah.
uh, the issues with Israel also
Yes.
happened because of that and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I just wanted to have a different take on this because I've been following these, some WhatsApp groups and all those things, the Indian ones.
Hmm.
And one thing I've been noticing is that there seems to be some concerted attack on the West from the right wing groups in India. Their reason, of course, is to counter any criticism from the West regarding the growing, authoritarianism that's happening, increasing intolerance and all those things. So they're
Hmm.
coming from that perspective, and they
Hmm.
want to blunt, any criticisms coming from the international watchdog
Yeah.
organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, all
Yeah.
those things. So they
Yeah.
keep saying that um, that they obviously use the ugly colonial past of the West
Hmm.
to say that I mean they've done so many wrongs, and now they are teaching, they are criticizing us or whatever, they are teaching us what how we should behave and what human rights and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And to me that's a huge problem. If we
Yeah. I agree
also
with you.
start using the same words and do the West bashing, we are
Hmm.
basically falling into that trap, in my opinion. And that's what I
Yeah.
was wanting to talk about, that we need to
I
be a
agree
little
with
bit
you.
more careful.
I don't have a disagreement with you on this. My point is that uh, when we talk about decolonizing the Indian mind or something, uh, sure, there are colonial influences still working on the global political front, but there are also local forces, like the forces that you just mentioned, which are trying to hijack the narrative of decoloniality and use it to impose their own version of oppression on local populations. And when they get challenged by, say, organizations like Amnesty, etc., that you mentioned, they try to hide behind, yeah, the West has been colonial for such a long time. They have no authority to say this. But they should look at the Israel Palestine situation right now. America is supporting Israel. But organizations like Amnesty, etc., are opposing Israel and calling for a ceasefire and an end to the violence. So, when we look at the criticism or commentary coming from the West, we have to look at exactly, is it colonial or is it anti colonial? Because if it was colonial, then Amnesty would have been in favor of American government, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because that's the West. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, that was my main point, because
Hmm.
I mean, the West is, there are difference, right? I mean, if you look at the people, I would say, at least in the U.S. that I know,
Hmm.
the large majorities are, liberal-minded people, and they even with the Israel Palestinian thing, there are a lot of people who are talking, raising their voice against that,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
US,
yeah, they are.
what their policies are and things like that. Um, Same thing, we have seen in the past also, whether they are Iraq war and all those things. So my point, I guess, is that we need to look at what the people, what their perspectives are, may not be the same as what the government does sometimes in their names. and
Hmm.
uh, and that distinction is important, because a lot of the things that happen, a lot of the liberal thoughts that have come from the West, of
Hmm.
course, they don't have the monopoly on that. Liberal thinking people are there all over the world, but the way it has crystallized certain concepts, like the state needs to, the uh, liberals, liberalism, and basically the states need to take care of the people, and that they work for the benefit of the people. They don't. They are supposed to serve the people,
Yeah.
not to rule the people, and things like that. So
I think the confusion sometimes arises from the fact that there are people who are standing up in the West for liberal values, but you even have examples of American Democrats being
sure,
pro-Israel.
yeah.
So I would much rather look at all the voices that are speaking up against colonialism, even if I think that the West's interruption in a lot of countries is often colonialist in
Well,
nature.
it's a little bit, the Israel thing. I think it's a little bit more subtle, or it's not as straightforward, because with the people Democrats, and and some of the things I agree with that also. Some of the aspects of that I agree with them, which
Hmm.
is, they're supporting the Jews, not necessarily Israel, of course. Among
There are
the
Jews who are protesting against this.
Yeah, yeah,
There is a
absolutely.
gigantic number of Jews in America who are saying no, this will not be done in our name. There are Jews all over the world who are protesting this. There are Jews within Israel who are protesting this. In fact, the Israeli government has recently brought in laws to penalize people who watch video content which is pro-Palestine. So this is like they may think. I think it is a the distraction that is being affected is saying that Israel means Jews. No, I think there is a difference between Zionists and Jews. Many
Absolutely.
Jews are opposed to it, and those who are not opposed to it, better not be called Jews. They better be called Zionists. There are people who grew up in Israel and are now not in Israel and are openly admitting that I was told lies about what my country is. Sometimes find myself wishing we had more people like that among Hindus in India.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I'm saying, that there, of course, there's some political reasons why even the liberal people have can say certain things, and cannot say other things, when it comes to especially Israel and
Mm.
Palestine. But all in all, my point is that there are differences. There are enough, in my experience, liberal thinking people here in the West, and that they sometimes, in the way the conversations happen in India, I think that gets lost in at least a certain.
Well, you depends on which conversations you're looking at. I'm an Instagram animal, and I find plenty of really vocal, really kind pro-Palestine voices. But if the only voices you're looking at is, uh, pro-Hindutva voices or Sanghi voices, then you might be forgiven for thinking that that is what most people in India are saying. That's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, that was the
If you
really
follow
want
me
to.
on Instagram, I share their posts on my stories
Yeah,
every
I'm
day.
actually not on Instagram.
Oh,
so so yeah, I only do the YouTube. And
okay, cool.
yeah.
YouTube can sometimes lead you astray about like I find that when I'm like scrolling Instagram reels, there is so much uh, there is so much anti-capitalist, anti-colonial, high quality content on Instagram, and on YouTube it's just look, these people fell off a bicycle, ha ha ha.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot
there
of
is a
that.
lot of difference. There's a market difference between reels and shorts now.
Okay.
Cool,
All
cool,
right,
Rohit.
Ian, thanks for your work. I really appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you, Rohit, and thank you for calling. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
That was Rohit. Before I proceed, let me just thank Amit Matthew for the $20. Thanks, Amit. Amit says, appreciate everything you do, Vimoh. Don't be so sure, Amit. You don't know all that I do. Like, sometimes I pick my nose. I'm sure you don't appreciate that. But jokes apart, thank you for the $20, man. Appreciate it. Amit has been a long time supporter, really long time supporter. And again, I'll remind everyone that if you want to access the Wednesday live stream, which will happen this Wednesday, please become a member by clicking the join button. The Wednesday live stream is no longer public; it's going to be for members only. Let's see. Mm-mm-mm. Let's take Layman. Layman, your camera is on. Are you sure you want the camera on? Okay. Hi.
Hey,
What's
yeah.
up?
Hi. Hey, what's up? How are you? How's been the week?
I'm good. I hope you're also okay. I see that your
Awesome.
website URL
Yeah.
is decorating the screen.
Yep. Why not? And after all, started off with your shout out, right? You remember
Ah,
that 50K followers live you did? That is where you
50K
gave the
followers.
first shout
Oh
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Stack.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
right. That's where you gave the first shout out for me, and why not? And I also became a member. I'm super excited for Wednesday streams now from now on. Yep.
You are.
That's
I
the
I
update.
am frankly a little. I'm
Yes.
frankly a little apprehensive. Like what's going to happen and all. But let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Let's explore together, I suppose. Yeah. Vimo, I came here to speak almost what the second caller spoke regarding. That's the caste system and its intervention in matrimony, etc. Right. So myself
Okay.
going through that process, one thing that I had a conversation with my parents,
Hmm.
still in the process of conversation, went this way. So I did say, I did ask, what are your thoughts on the whole process, and what do you think? What do you think should be the ideal process for you? After that, I did say, listen, this is what the way I want it to be, like getting myself, I mean, getting the marriage registered in the registrar, and
Hmm.
probably having a ceremony that just announces that something like this happened in my life to people that we would
Okay.
like to invite.
And
So
that's
I
what I
think
would
that
prefer
is
also. Yeah.
the ideal. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the ideal way, is what I said. And also, yes, my parents believe that. And they said, yes, it is ideal. All we can do is only propose something like this. Again,
Hmm.
that actually happening would totally depend on the both sides, etc. I don't want to get into that. But again, that was the argument, not an argument, that was the way of accepting what I mentioned. One of the things that they mentioned is, let us say this is what we propose, but if that doesn't go right, if that is not being agreed to, and if we happen to like the the other person who you would be getting married to, if we end up liking the person a lot, we might have to compromise on a few things. The few things could
Hmm.
include rituals, etc., which I said. No matter what compromise it is, I would say outright no to any rituals for that matter. I'm
Hmm.
also not someone who is seeking this event in my life at the moment right away. I'm quite okay even if it doesn't happen at the time. It was a
Hmm.
little disheartening for them to listen to this, but again, it was fine. I was able to
Okay.
stick to my ground and establish things, right? So, I mean, probably something that we can start with, right? Having conversations with parents regarding this. I mean, I'm just saying this probably for the caller that was there, the second caller that who came up. exactly, not answering or just giving another perspective, right? That is one.
Okay.
I
What did
suppose
you want to
things.
talk about?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. I mean, this I wanted to speak after listening to that person. What I wanted to talk about is one thing. I want some sources and readings probably to build rational thinking and scientific inquiry. What do you think should be the resources or sources that I can probably subscribe
I usually just recommend the Atheist Experience just to
to?
watch their entire back catalog. Because what happens is that
Okay.
it hammers in the same ideas. You talk to people with similar arguments, and you find these people finding really innovative, new, and original methods of responding to the same thing. Good way to talk to people. That has been most of my training, honestly. The Atheist Experience videos have been most of my training, apart from, an occasional book. But uh, a book does not always have to be the answer to this question, because it's a different skill set, right? Understanding and then implementing that understanding to change minds. So if you're going to talk to people, watching debates is a great idea. If you're going to understand things, then books are a better idea.
Okay, right. Yes, that's pretty much I wanted to what I wanted to ask, and I
Okay.
suppose there was this pattern seeking thing, right? The pattern seeking thing of
Hmm.
Lord Vishnu being seen in a nebula, etc. I see it a very probably a laid back view and not being open to other perspectives. It looks like a lot other things. I just said on the comment as well. It looks like an adventurer on a horse ride with a whip in his hand, which is for some reason
Yeah.
shining in that. Right? It
Yeah.
kind of looked like that. I think yeah, that kind of narrows our vision, or probably narrows down our vision if we are not open to other possibilities. Right?
Yeah,
That's
I think
something.
it's
Just
not
wanted
a,
to
like
put
it
that up.
at the heart of it is a bad way of processing reality. Uh, A looks like B, therefore A is B. This is at the heart of all of it.
Right.
Like, you look at the conspiracy theory videos about,
So.
in ancient India they had spaceships. Why? Because I have seen a picture of a spaceship in a science fiction story, and this picture of this temple looks like that. So it looks like it, therefore it is it. It There are so many other things here. Okay, it looks like it, but is it really it? Let me go closer and take a closer look. What are some of the other properties of B? Oh, it's made of metal. It has an
Right.
engine. It needs fuel. It needs advanced circuitry. Do I find any of it there? No. All that is there is that it looks like it on a very surface level. Therefore, I will forego all other considerations and come to the conclusion that these two are the same things. This is at the heart of Praveen Mohan's entire dhanda. This is at the heart of Sadhguru, more than half
Right.
of Sadhguru's claims. This is at the heart of people
Yeah.
finding this word similar to that word, and therefore they must have been talking about the same thing. It's just bizarre levels of stupidity.
Got it. Understood. Yeah, yeah, got it. On the same lines. One last thing, if you may, only if you're fine with it. There is one last thing just
Hmm.
that came top of my mind. So I was
Hmm.
just scrolling through Instagram, another Instagram animal here. So I was just looking out for it, and the video went this way. It was regarding Palestine and Israel, right? So there was a question that was asked, which read this. I'm just paraphrasing again. Why do you think
Hmm.
people in Palestine? Do you think, or if you think, why do you think people in Palestine deserve the atrocious attacks that are happening on them? That was the question,
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
respondents' response was this. I'll clearly tell you the exact reason. The same reason why UK and US did not support Jews to enter their countries or support them in any other way before the Holocaust happened, and that was the end of it.
I saw that one.
Is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
what about yeah, you must have seen as well. So what is, I mean, what these kind of arguments, they're not even arguments, they're just statements.
So
I
that
mean,
video was
I'm
kind of
just
a
confused.
slice from a much longer conversation, right? It wasn't the whole
Yeah,
picture.
right.
I don't know what he was saying that in response to. I don't know what the other person
Mhm,
said before that. I don't know how angry they
mhm.
were with each other when they said that. It may be interpreted
Right.
as insensitive on both sides, right? And I'm
Mhm.
not doing both
Yeah,
sides here.
right.
But I will need to see the longer video
True.
before coming to that conclusion. But the short answer is nobody
Right.
deserves what the Palestinians are going through. Nobody deserves it.
Exactly.
Israel
Right.
doesn't deserve it. America doesn't
Exactly.
deserve it. India doesn't deserve it. New Zealand doesn't deserve it. Nobody deserves
Yeah.
to be mercilessly bombed into existence by a military power. That's it. Even the military power does not deserve
Yeah.
it. So deserving doesn't even come into it. What is being done to Palestine by Israel is just plain old
Yeah.
genocide. And I will risk this video
So
being demonetized, even if that means that.
I suppose not.
What?
Yeah, that's it. Vimoh. Nothing. I mean, I suppose it doesn't happen. So
No, it can
monetization
happen.
being cut
These
off
days,
is
you have
is
no
good.
idea. People using the word Palestine in their Instagram posts are getting shadow banned. I don't know if it's happening on YouTube, but who knows?
Okay, I just started doing that, and should I be scared? I don't know.
How many followers do you have?
Hello. I don't know, 450, 500, I suppose.
Then you're fine. You're
Just
fine.
there.
Don't worry
Still
about
getting
it.
there. Nothing will happen. Glad. I'm
Take
glad.
care.
I'm glad for having less followers. No, I should not say that.
चलो ठीक
Okay,
है लेमन
Vimoh,
बाय बाय
that's everything. That's everything. Bye.
बाय
See you.
That was Layman. Let's see who else is here. But before I move on to the next caller, let me just check. Okay, we have some super chats. Jesu, thank you for the 179 rupees. All supports lesser evil in conflict for existence. Okay. Surya, you are in the queue. I have just been told that you are on an Android Chrome, which has a bug that causes echoes. Google is working to fix it. For now, please ask your guest to wear headphones to avoid echo or use a different browser. So if you're using if you're using Chrome on Android, use a different browser to connect to this live stream. There's a tech issue. Jesus says all supports lesser evil in conflict for existence. I don't know what that means. Everyone supports the lesser evil in conflict for existence. I'm not sure how to interpret that, but thank you for the 179 rupees. Thank you for becoming a member, Dr. Striker. Much appreciated. Also, Raghunath, thank you for the $9.99 again. The elephant in the room in arranged marriages is not careerism involved in the wedding itself, like most callers seem to focus on. The issue is the partner selection itself is endogamous. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Whenever someone comes to talk about wedding related issues, I find myself thinking, I can't do anything to about that aspect. The person has already chosen the person they're going to get married to. At this point, me pointing out that the process itself maybe lends itself to some problematic interpretations is neither here nor there. So I just focus on the problems that are very clearly in their near future. But thank you, Raghunathan. Also, Shakya Nepale, thank you for the 100 rupees. Much appreciated. I think Shakya is also in the queue. Shakya, I have to take one caller and then it's your number. Cool. Let me just. किधर है किधर है किधर है Yeah. So, okay, Pratik, your webcam is on. Is that something you want? You're okay with your face showing on the video? If you're not, turn off your webcam and just join through audio. You're okay? Show me a thumbs up. Okay, Pratik has turned off his webcam.
This webcam.
You're online. Go on.
You're online. Go on.
Hi, Vimoh. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you're audible.
And
But I'm hearing an echo.
But I
of
am
my
hearing
own
an
voice.
echo of my own voice.
So if you're listening to me on
So if you're
another
listening to
device,
me on
turn it
another
on.
device, turn it on.
Turn
now
it
is
off.
it okay?
Turn it off.
Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
No, I'm still hearing my
No,
echo.
I'm still hearing my echo.
Actually, I'm using a single device only, but I don't know how you're hearing an echo of it.
Is the audio
Is
coming
the
out of
audio
it?
coming out of it?
Are you like
Are you like
speaker से audio निकल के mic
speaker
में
से
जा
audio
रहा है?
निकल के mic में जा रहा है?
No, it's actually a tab, and I'm not using any speaker.
Are you using
Are you
Chrome browser?
using Chrome browser?
Yes, it's a Chrome. I'm using
Yeah,
Chrome.
use something else.
Yeah, use something else.
That's a known bug.
That's a known bug.
Yeah.
So
I'm
can I
getting
come
warnings
back?
I'm
about it.
getting warnings
Yeah,
about
you
it.
can come back.
Yeah, you can come back.
You can come back in a minute and change your browser and then join. Everyone who's on Chrome, please understand that this is a new bug which is causing echoes. I can't do anything about it. Use a different browser to join. Webhav Kamble, thank you for becoming a member. Webhav has just become a member on YouTube. Much appreciated, Webhav. Thank you. Let's see. I will take Shakya. Hi, Shakya. You're online. Shakya.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about like what's your stance on the quote that Ambedkar gave on his book, Waiting for Visa. Like the quote goes along the lines like,
I haven't read the book, but tell me the quote.
the quote is, some people think that religion is not essential to society. I do not hold this view. I consider the foundation of religion to be essential to the life and practices of a society. Um, what do you think about that quote?
I
That
don't agree with it.
uh,
I don't agree with it.
Okay, so you don't agree with that. Like on the part that majority of the atheism, I would say lobby or like the ecosystem in India goes along with the
Hmm.
lines that Ambedkar supports in some way or the other atheism
How do you
practices.
know that? How do you know that majority of the atheist lobby in India goes along with it?
Like for a very long time, I was inside those eco chambers. You could say I used to be active members of some communities that would
Which
think
communities?
um, communities like basically my school people that I grew up around, like those people were people who did not believe in God, or like basically converts who thought
But that's not
Hinduism was
the.
not a religion,
I get it. I
converts who
get it.
converted
But I'm
from
saying
Hinduism to other religions.
I'm just wondering how that gets interpreted as the majority of the atheist community in India.
Mm, like I think like the spaces that talk about like Hinduism and other religions a lot do usually quote Ambedkar, so so that's my assumption.
Okay.
That's
So
my assumption.
if you have you seen any video on this channel before?
I've seen one video where you said that atheism and atheism in the sense that you don't necessarily have to believe in the existence of the creator God. Even karma can be your God. I think that video I saw.
Okay. So my general view is that I do not think religion is essential for the working of a society. I think there are some societies which are more in grip of religiosity than others, and ours certainly seems to be one of those societies. Ambedkar obviously had his views. I disagree with this particular view, and Ambedkar was a product of his times. This is not a toxic view at all, by the way, but it is something that I don't share. That's all. And there are plenty of atheists who don't share it also. There are nations on this earth which are not religious, which are mostly atheistic, and they work fine.
I
Okay.
think that was something that I wanted to talk to you about. Like,
Hmm.
so that was the only question that I had.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. That was Shakya Nepale. Let's see who else is here. जो भी नए हो और जिसने बताया नहीं प्राइवेट चैट में टेल मी व्हाट यू वांट टू टॉक अबाउट. Let's see. Has the other person come back? No. Um, Rahul Kurup. Rahul. Rahul, you're online.
Hey, Vimoh. Yeah.
Hey.
So I just had like a couple of questions about, some stuff I was thinking as an atheist, like, how to
Okay.
approach things as an
Hmm.
atheist. So I've noticed that a lot. I mean, I've been like a atheist for very recent time. Like I was still like grappling with my beliefs about whether I believe in
Okay.
supernatural stuff and all that. And I realized that the lot of language that I use unconsciously is still very deistic. Like I still say oh my god, I still like
Mm-hmm.
use expressions that are related to god, like god only knows, stuff like that. I'm not able to recall all of them. Some of them are a little local, hindi
Hmm.
mein ya phir aisa kuch. So like I sometimes I often realize it after the fact that I say it. So I sometimes feel a little conflict internally that why am I using all this programming language? I thought I was an atheist. So like
Well, you can't
that
help it. You can't help the fact that certain religious practices, certain religious language has entered common currency, right? So why would you feel guilty about it?
I don't know. Like I feel like you should be a staunch principle in everything that you do. I mean, that is one. Like if you
See,
hold a principle,
atheism means not believing that God exists or that supernatural deities exist. Uh, it is not about denying that religion exists or that religion has had an influence on culture. And what you're talking about here is that religion has an influence on language. We say, bus stop पे चार बंदे खड़े थे. चार बंदे क्या होता है? बंदे means अल्लाह के बंदे, right? So that has come from a religion and it entered life. When we are surprised or something, we might say, oh God. That doesn't mean we actually believe in the truth of these claims. We are simply using these words because they have become part of language. इसमें गिल्टी फील का कुछ नहीं है.
I mean, I like to think of myself as an intellectual person, but like, I encounter this stuff and then I have to question myself again. So,
It's okay.
yeah,
I don't think
so,
it's a big deal.
okay. Yeah.
If you want, you can make a conscious effort to avoid these words. Like every time you say these words, oh, नहीं बोलना था. I have a friend who says,
Yeah.
oh my dog.
Well, not
Like
that.
he has trained himself, I
Yeah.
think. He may have, although I suspect not entirely. He has trained himself to say, oh my dog, whenever he feels like saying, oh my God. मैं कभी-कभी लाइक मेरे मुँह से निकलता उठा ले रे भगवान एंड देन आई ऐड जो
Yeah.
पैसे रास्ते पे पड़े हैं उनको उठा ले ऐसा कुछ. आई जस्ट ऐड समथिंग टू मेक इट मीनिंगलेस.
Yeah. That is a thing. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's just about catching yourself and then realizing what it is. Awareness.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think it's a big deal, but if you think it is a big enough bother for you, you can just avoid using the words consciously.
Yeah. No, but it doesn't like question my identity as an atheist, right? I mean, like,
No, obviously
stuff.
not.
Yeah.
It only asserts your identity as a person who exists in society and uses language to talk to people.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Then my second point is like, basically this comes up during whataboutery sessions in discussion. Like I'll bring up something, okay, this is a questionable practice. And then you say, why you are such a big defender of human rights? Why don't you talk about the conservatism in Islam or Christianity? And I'll just share one thing. I am from Malayali background, so like it tends to be an ironic discussion that I come from a land where secularism is actually more accepted that compared to most states, but there is still like in some pockets there are conservatism and we all secretly criticize Islamic practices, Christian practices, etc. And then like I'd say, okay, there is a thing going on in the Hindu religion that is very regressive, and then they say, what about these two guys? You are not saying anything about these two guys. So like and then I'm disarmed at the moment, and then I'm not able to respond because I have to grab my bearings and then respond, and then in that moment I feel like I lost. So like,
So
do you
what-
have any
I tell people like you have to understand what the fight is against and who is asking you to focus on other religions, because a lot of times when people ask you to focus on that religion, they're only doing it because they can't stand the fact that you're saying something about their religion. Like comedians face this all the time. They will make a joke about one religion and people from every other religion will laugh, and then they come to that person's religion and they're like, hey, ye kaise bol diya tune?" Sanjay Rajura had mentioned this some time ago in an interview or something. And if you watch Atheist Experience episodes, it's an American call-in show where people talk about atheism. You'll sometimes find people saying, why are you always criticizing Christianity and why don't you focus on Islam and Hinduism, etc. There are Pakistani atheists who get calls saying कि हमेशा इस्लाम के बारे में क्यों बात करते हो, हिंदुओं के बारे में बात करो, क्रिश्चियंस के बारे में बात करो. In India, we get the other thing. So if you talk about the most prominent flavor of religious ice cream in our locality, people will try to get you to say something about another religion. In fact, a lot of times you'll find in shows like this, in the chat, if I'm criticizing Islam, there'll be a bunch of Hindus who'll be clapping. If I'm criticizing Hinduism, there'll be a bunch of Muslims who are clapping. They only come to hear bad things about other religions so that they can get instruments and tools to fight with them. So I'm extremely careful about this. When a Hindu comes and wants to talk about Islam, I say, when a Muslim comes, I'll do it. With you, I will talk about your religion. So
that's actually a good approach.
Yeah.
I mean,
always,
you're
like,
choosing the background.
India is apparently Hindus are the powerful group here. Why would anyone in India make Islam or Christianity the sole focus of their atheism? It's only because they have some soft spot for Hinduism as Hindus. In Bangladesh, if someone criticizes Hinduism, I can totally I like a Bangladeshi atheist will primarily have things to say about Islam. A
Yes.
Pakistani atheist will primarily have things to say about Islam. An American
Hmm.
atheist will primarily criticize
Sure.
evangelical Christians,
Yeah.
right? So we are all responding to the biggest version of the problem in our locality. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's really a distraction tactic most of the
Yeah,
time,
yeah, it's a
and like,
distraction tactic. Yeah.
yeah. But my thing was, how do I recover from such, and go and get back to the actual argument? Because sometimes I get flustered because I am not like prepared for this one point and all.
I'll tell you what I did. A couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, in fact, I put out a reel or YouTube short on my main channel saying ki, for everyone who's asking me, why do you not say anything about Islam? If you go and search my videos for all the arguments that Abrahamic religions present, I've already made a couple of videos.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
Right?
I'm not on Instagram much, so I'll have to go through that. Yeah.
No, it's on my main YouTube channel,
Oh, yeah.
youtube.com/@Vimoh. I have made debunks, I have made explainers, etc. about most of the Kalam cosmological argument, etc. These are not Hindu arguments. These are all Christian and Muslim arguments. I have made videos about all of them. But the
Okay.
reason they don't see that as criticism of Islam and Christianity is because they're literally looking for ha Prophet Muhammad ke bare mein ek joke maar do, because that's their intellectual level.
Uh,
They're not looking for logical argument. They're looking for झगड़ा. And I said, मैं यहाँ वो करने के लिए बैठा ही नहीं हूँ. Whatever you want me to criticize, I already have criticized. I just haven't done it in the cheap way you expect me to do it.
right. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
all?
I'm definitely. I'm going. One last question about
Okay.
neutrality and diplomacy.
Okay.
I prefer the practice of living and let living. Like, if somebody wants to believe in a religion, it's fine. If you don't want to believe in a religion, that's also fine. But I'm also like worried that sometimes I say things that are actually very neutral by, if you analyze it rationally, but it may come off as impinging on somebody's beliefs and practices. But
Can you
like,
give me an example?
uh like circumcision, yeah, it's a
Oh,
little
okay.
like, I believe that circumcision may have had a practical purpose for a while, like when medical care was not a very what do you call developed thing in the Middle Eastern countries where this practice, I think, is originating from. But like, it doesn't make sense in the current context. And if I say, okay, it doesn't really make sense because there's a lot of studies that say there is no substantial difference between circumcised people and non-circumcised people,
Yeah.
then it becomes construed as an attack on their beliefs. So I mean, it's like a physical.
Listen, they can take offense to any number of things, right? What
Yeah.
what we are opposing is uh, circumcision of children without their consent, which is
Yeah.
a practically genital mutilation.
Yeah.
So the other thing about circumcision having medical value is also bakwas. By the way, there's no such thing. It was created to justify it, saying कि देखो हम लोग ancient times में भी ये जानते थे, but the human body has plenty of defenses against the complications created by
Right.
foreskin. It's not really a scientifically better thing कि you get rid of the foreskin. Somebody came up with it in some ancient times, and people have just been doing it for that reason. Now we are in the 21st century. They can't justify it, so they just call it scientific or something. There are cases where there may be complications where, because of health reasons, it becomes important to remove the foreskin, and that's okay. But I don't think you should worry about someone's religious sentiments getting hurt if the thing you're opposing is just a violation of a child's right to not be in pain.
Yeah, I mean,
If a child wants to grow up and gets convinced by people that circumcision is a good idea either because of religious reasons or because of scientific reasons, that's their choice. But to force it upon a child is a terrible thing.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, I always, like, my biggest problem is also, I guess, I worry too much about what other people think. So I think I'll have to work on that also, I guess.
No, it's not like you should not worry about what other people think at all, but
Ah.
make a distinction, learn to make a distinction between, and sorry if I'm sounding preachy here, but try to make a distinction between criticizing a harmful thing and criticizing a harmless thing. There are people right now who are posting verses from the Quran on Instagram because they're feeling so affected by the violence in Palestine. No, I'm not an asshole who say, ha ha, God does not exist to them, right?
Right. Right.
Them posting a verse from the Quran on Instagram is not hurting anyone. In fact, is giving them solace. But if someone was saying, a place is being bombed, therefore I will circumcise my child, that's a little bit of a thing that you can have an opinion on, and then you should not worry about if worried about it if someone
Yeah.
is feeling offended by it.
Right. Yeah. Makes feels
You'll
perfectly
draw
right.
the line between harm and harmless, then it becomes
Ha.
easier.
Barabar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. All right. Yeah, that's it, Vimo. Thanks a lot. I always appreciate your thoughts.
Thanks, Rahul.
Keep up
Thank
the good
you.
work.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. That was Rahul. Um, let's take Pratik. Your webcam is on again. If you want, you can turn it off and I'll take you. Before I take Pratik, let me just thank some people for. Wait, you can't say yeah. Raghunath is saying, is there proof Ambedkar had that view? I searched for the quote and I did find it on Brainy Quote. I have not read the book, so I can't say, but apparently Ambedkar has that quote in the book. Maybe the quote is wrong, maybe brainyquote.com is wrong, but I don't know. There is no reason to think that he could not have had that view. Satyamev Jayate, thank you for the €6. Deepavali is based on Buddhist tradition of lighting the lamp, symbolizing spread of knowledge and conquering superstition. Diwali is based on superstition. Yes, true. In fact, the justification given for Deepavali is that Ram returned to Dashera when A, there is no evidence that the Ramayana ever happened, and B, apparently Deepavali is a way older festival that was celebrated by a lot of people, and at some point of time it got culturally appropriated into the thing that we call Hinduism. Siddharth is a member for 1 month. Thank you, Siddharth. Siddharth says, how do you feel about the label humanist as opposed to atheist? I think there is something to be said for affirmative identity. I agree. I don't call myself a humanist, although in present times it is arguable that the identity atheist is also an affirmative identity, because what you're saying by saying that you're an atheist is that you are opposed to religious bigotry to whatever extent that is possible. I know there are people who call themselves Hindu atheist, which is just bizarre to me. But yeah, I think the word atheist can also be interpreted as an affirmative identity, and humanist definitely is an affirmative identity. And if someone wants to call themselves a humanist, great. Barnali, thank you for the 100 rupee super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you. Barnali has also been a very long time supporter. I really appreciate it. Right. Pratik, you're okay with your webcam being on? Okay. So, hi, what's up?
Hi, Vimoh, and is it okay this time because it was echoing last time?
Let me check. Testing. Yeah, it's okay.
It's good to know that. And, actually, I want to discuss on this topic. Actually, I'm an atheist, and I don't know how to, on what manner I should seek motivation, because some thieves would visit a temple, or if they face any problem, they would think that God is behind us, and He is only causing these problems to learn learn how to tackle these problems. So, as an atheist, I feel that I feel insecure about disbelieving God, because I don't know how to seek motivation in such cases. Uh, are you able to get my point?
I do. You gave me the example of some people who believe in God and who find that belief in God gives them motivation. I don't know how that works exactly. Like they're going through something terrible in life and they think that God is doing it to them. How does that motivate them?
Not the small problems they face. They think that okay, we will tackle them in some short time, because God is behind us, and uh,
That God is. So let me give you an example. Someone told me recently that something bad is happening and they're hoping They're praying to God to give them strength. Now, my question was, is God all powerful? And if God is all powerful, then is that bad thing happening because of God, or because it is happening and God is still not able to stop it? Did you get my question?
Can you repeat it once?
So something bad happened, right?
Okay.
Did it happen despite God's presence and God could not stop it, or did it happen because God did it?
Their belief is not. You're saying that the belief is not meaningful.
No, I'm saying ki when you look for solace in someone, like suppose I am having trouble and you're my friend and I go to you and I speak with you, you are not the person who's the reason behind the problem. And you're also not a problem, not a person who can solve that problem. But you're there for me as a friend, right?
Yes.
You can't say that about God because God can solve that problem, right? And
Yes.
God is not solving that problem. And maybe if God is doing everything in the universe, then maybe that problem is, maybe God created that problem, right?
Yes.
So it is, I think, better to find solace in human beings, because human beings are human beings are real, and B, your friends and your family and your loved ones, or even maybe if not your family, sometimes family can be the source of the problem. Maybe people who you have chosen to be close to, it is always better to find solace in them, because hope and strength that you get from God is always an illusion. It's not really there. You're just fooling yourself into thinking about something. Now, if someone is going through a lot of problems in life and they're relying on God and it is helping them cross the problems right now, I won't get in their way. The only reason I'm telling you this is because you're struggling with it.
Because some people would find it as it would give them some self confidence by believing God. But in my case, being an atheist, I couldn't find any confidence in confidence about it. So, how to seek motivation in such cases?
So tell me something, Pratik. What is it that you need confidence to do?
Actually, it's about exams and studies.
Okay. So do you think if you believed in God, you'll do better in exams?
No, I don't think so. But my fellow friends are doing it. They say that
Are they get, do you think they are going to get better marks because they believe in God?
no,
Then what is the
no.
point? Then what is the point? You can, it
Actually,
is always,
I have
I'm
seen
saying,
them. Yes.
go on, go on.
Actually, I seen my friend. He used to score less marks than me, but uh, after a while, he visited religious place. More specifically, he visited Tirumala, the Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. And after that time, we had an examination, and he scored more marks than me. So,
Do you think that was because of the temple or because he studied better?
because he studied well, yes,
Yeah.
it is. But I think that he gained some confidence after visiting there.
I'm saying sure, he gained that confidence after visiting there, but you can gain confidence without visiting there also. Do you
Yes,
agree?
I am asking how it is because I am an atheist. I am, and some would say that they are agnostic, but I could strongly say that I am a gnostic atheist because what they define as God, I couldn't accept it.
Okay, you're a
So
Gnostic atheist. Let's not debate on the position right now.
okay,
Uh,
yes,
if you're looking for a source of confidence, you can, I don't know. There are motivational speakers who are irreligious. There are books written by famous people which you can find inspiration. There are life stories of successful people that you can read to find confidence. These are all good places, right?
yes, it is, and these are not religious,
Yeah,
as you
they're not
said.
religious. My point is, if the need is inspiration and motivation, humans are always a better source than gods are.
Yes.
So if you're facing an exam and you're finding yourself unmotivated, read stories about people who became what you want to be in life. Read stories about people's hard work. Read stories about how people, despite not having resources, really got into, really believed in what they wanted to become and then succeeded. Those stories really help.
Okay. And that was my point. And I also have to ask about something about political ideology on conservatism
Yeah.
and liberalism.
Pratik, I just want to share a comment with you. Someone called
Okay.
Nikhil has shared, this guy is already live on YouTube. How much more confidence does he need?
Thank you, Nikhil. I really thank him. Yeah.
So, what was the next point?
I I go. I went. I also actually read about a guy named Jonathan Haidt. He's a social psychologist, and he said that for a society to sustain both liberalism and conservatism are equally important. But
Hmm.
I think I am a liberal, and the idea of conservatism uh, really demotivates a society. So, how, in what way, conservatism promotes a society,
I
as
think
Jonathan Haidt said?
so. Jonathan Haidt, I don't know what he was saying that in context of, but I would tend to agree because no society is completely liberal. It cannot be. And no society can be completely conservative and prosper also. So there has to be a balance. What we are suffering from right now is not conservatism. We are suffering right now from an overwhelming desire by the conservatives to bury everyone else and only have their worldview dominate all aspects of life. If we had a
As you said,
society where
that is the
uh,
extreme form of conservatism. No?
yeah, I am not of the opinion that conservatism itself is a bad thing. The reason we are
Okay.
suffering right now is because conservatism is dominating every aspect of our social, political, cultural, even scientific life. And that's the danger. It's poison, literally. It's something that kills societies.
And last week, Wednesday stream, I asked about this, and you said that there are several economies, liberal economies, which have achieved so much, and India being a right wing, ruled by a right wing party, which is not working at all. So,
I didn't.
does
Did I say this?
you said that India being a right wing country, it doesn't work. Like
I
that, something like that. You said.
I don't think I said this. As far as economy is concerned, I did not say India is a right wing economy because India has only been like the right wing of this sort for the last 10 years, right?
Last decade, yes.
Yeah. So since independence, we have been plenty welfare and plenty socialist as far as economy is concerned. So uh, there are many reasons behind India being where it is. And economic liberalization happened. It had some good aspects. It had some bad aspects. I keep talking about it, but I don't think I said that India is a right wing economy, and that is why I think you may have misheard me.
Oh, okay. I might have misheard. But do you think promoting liberalism in India can solve some problems sustaining now?
What do you mean by liberalism?
Like you said that the extreme form of conservatism is harmful, and so promoting liberalism can be among youths can be helpful.
Well, yeah, but see, here's the thing. There is liberalism with a capital L, which ends up being capitalist and which ends up being a mechanism that supports conservatives. So, leftist politics, I think, is better, but that's my opinion. Liberalism frequently becomes neoliberalism and ends up fueling capitalism, and that ends up destroying the it ends up destroying a diverse kind of economy. It affects innovation. It's a longer conversation, but yeah, the sense that you are talking about, liberal with a small L, I do think more people should be progressive and less conservative in life.
and so and that's
That's
all
it?
I wanted to speak.
Cool.
Yes,
Thank you, Pratik.
thank thank you,
And
Vimoh.
best of luck for your examinations. You don't need God. Trust me. You don't need God. Just work hard. And if you need inspiration, read books by people. Someone in chat was also saying speak to your seniors for motivation. Cool.
Thank you.
Chalo. Bye bye.
See you next time.
That is, oh, sorry. Huh. That was Pratik. Before I proceed, thank you, Rahul, for becoming a new member. Thank you, Priyankar, for the 100 rupee super chat. Thank you for being a torch bearer for rationality on the interwebs. Much appreciated. Thank you, Priyankar. And also, thank you to Saransh Kulkarni for becoming a new member. Thank you, Saransh. Let's see who else. Private chat में अभी कौन आया है? Someone called Don't Know. Don't know what you want to talk about. Has Don't Know told us what they want to talk about? Let's see. Nope. Don't know what do you want to talk about. Tell me in the super chat. Sorry, tell me in the private chat, not in the super chat. Somebody needs a real quick answer on consciousness. Ashutosh Nayak. Ashutosh, go on.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Quickly, your question.
Yeah, great. So, thanks, Vimoh, for getting me here. So, my question was, like I'm also like in a path of exploring the atheism. Okay, and I have been following you since the time you were getting your views in 3 digits. Okay, I got some suggestion like YouTube suggestion while following Science is Dope, and
Hmm.
from there I got your channel. Yeah,
My
so
views in 3 digits, as in my video views.
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I got it, got it.
Okay. So like I really love your content there, and
Thank you.
like the best part is I get a lot of answers that I can like help like the theist ones to answer their questions. But recently one of my friends just asked me a question and I had no answer for that. And when usually I do not have any answer for consciousness. Okay, every time they ask whenever debate starts on how life came and how this consciousness came, does your science has any answer for consciousness? Just the basic answer that like most of the people say, that if I do not have answer for something, that doesn't mean that no, it has supernatural powers associated with it. Okay, but now like I in a few video of yours or in some comments also I have mentioned it, but I think you haven't got enough time to answer there. So my question was, as you told me, see, if you look it in like in the way of chemistry or something, you will see that life is nothing, life or this world or everything is nothing but a infinite loop of chemical reactions who have consciousness to make themselves infinite. And that thing is that's how he said that without that conscience or without that consciousness, we are just a chemical reaction.
What
So
is, I don't understand the main thing. The power to make themselves infinite. What does that mean?
no, what I meant is, see, basically, if we look into the science perspective, we are just like a combination of chemical reactions, isn't it?
Hmm.
So, if we consider this human race or this living race, okay, the living things and all, so we are just in a process in which we are trying to like there is a what do we say, generational race, that we do not want our race to end, and that's why we reproduce and everything. Okay, so why, like, how this chemical reaction is getting a consciousness to make itself continue, like make itself infinite and doesn't want to end, so this chemical reaction is
Yeah, so
getting
I'm
constant.
asking, what do you mean by when you say to make itself infinite? It's not
So
infinite. Consciousness ends. When people die, they stop being conscious.
yes, like that's what see, people and they associate this with soul. Okay, they say that since the soul
Do they have any
travels from,
evidence? Do they have any evidence that the soul exists or that souls travel after we die?
no, that's what that's what they said. That's what, like, how like I understood his argument and I found out like, yes, this is something I need an answer to. so that like next time someone says that, I can like give a logical answer for that. And that is, they say that life is nothing without consciousness. Consciousness plus chemical reaction is a human being or any living being or any race in continuing.
Well, to
Okay,
the
so
best of our knowledge, right now, consciousness seems to be a result of chemical processes in the brain. I'm not saying we I'm not saying we know what consciousness is. I'm saying that just because we don't know what it is does not mean we have to make space for every kooky theory out there, right? Because
exactly that's
right now
what.
it is consciousness, right? It is right now consciousness. Once upon a time, it might have been the ocean.
Yeah,
People did not know what was at the bottom of the ocean, and
yeah,
someone could come and ask you, "Does your science know what is at the bottom of the ocean?" And you will say no.
yeah,
So
of
then,
course.
would they be justified in saying that that's where God is? Because now we
Yeah,
know that there
exactly,
isn't, right? So
exactly.
ek time pe it's god of the gaps at the basic level.
Hmm.
We don't know something,
Hmm.
they say, you don't know this, do you? That's where god is, or that's
Yeah,
where the
exactly.
secret of the universe is. And then later on that gaps get filled and some other gap happens, they say, you don't know that, do you? That's where god is. The answer is they don't know either, and they're just making it up as they go along. They need to
Yeah.
believe in the theories that their religions gave them, and they're
Hmm.
finding trying desperately trying to find ways to keep them alive. Right now it is consciousness. कल को
Yeah.
consciousness का पता चल जाएगा तो कुछ और मिल जाएगा, उसमें डाल देंगे.
Yeah, exactly. Or this is the way in which I counter a lot of like theorists, that
Hmm.
before like we came to know about evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, it
Yeah,
was Indra Bhagwan. Okay, for you
yeah.
guys. And once we came to know about all this process, now Indra Bhagwan doesn't have any power. Okay,
Hmm.
he is the king of all the gods, but he has to rush to one god or the other to get help in the mythology. So
Yeah. No,
since we
actually, it
have the
didn't. In Vedic times, see, our gods have changed so much. In Vedic times, Indra was one of the most
gods are
powerful
used as
gods.
Hulk. If you follow Marvel, you will see that Hulk used to be the most powerful character with immense strength. But in
Hmm.
every like Avenger movie, to glorify that particular hero, we see that the Hulk gets nerfed and he gets beaten up by any random guy, any any person that doesn't have any power. So the same happened with Lord Indra.
In Vedic times, Indra, Varun, Vayu, or
Hmm.
rather Marut, etc.
Hmm.
These were really powerful gods, and Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiv were not.
Hmm.
But in later times, Vishnu, Shiv, and Mahesh became primary
Hmm.
gods, and Indra became just this guy who runs around asking everyone for help.
Hmm.
So
And,
uh, there is a lot that is going on there. But the
yeah,
point remains
one
this,
thing.
that we,
Yeah.
go on.
Continue. No, you continue. I like listening to
Now, I was
you.
saying your question about consciousness. The simple answer is that even if we don't know, there is no reason to think it is what your religion tells us unless you
Hmm.
give us evidence. Like when they say, does your science know this answer? You should say no. Does your religion have an answer? If their answer is no, then you're both standing exactly where the other one is, ignorance.
Their answer would be God. See,
Huh, so
you do not have answer.
so
I
ask
have an
them to
answer.
prove
That
it.
is God.
Ask them to prove it. If they can't prove it, why should you take them seriously? Simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Cool.
Yeah.
Ashutosh, I'll move on to the next caller.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Thank
Thank you.
you. That was Ashutosh. I now have time for one more caller and then I'll end today's thing. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people waiting. Shakya, I'm removing you. Shakya has already been here once. But Shakya is here in the super chat. Shakya is saying, start a Discord server, please. Shakya, we used to have a Discord server. It became too much work to manage it, so I deleted it. So right now, there is no Discord server. We'll think about it. Right now, as far as community is concerned, try the Wednesday live stream because that will give you access to the membership tab also. And if you do that, the Wednesday live stream will be available to you. I'll just remind everyone that the Wednesday live stream this coming Wednesday and all the Wednesdays after that is at least for now going to be members only. The Saturday live stream, this one will be free for everyone, but the Wednesday one is going to be for members only. So yeah, that's all the super chats. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take Rhythm. Rhythm, what's up? Rhythm, you're mute. You're on mute.
Hear me?
Okay. Rhythm?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Just hello.
I can hear you. I
Oh,
can
sounds
hear you. Go
great.
on.
Uh, oh,
Hello. Rhythm, your audio is gone again. Okay, I'm taking you off. I'm taking you off, and you can come back in a minute after checking your audio. There seems to be some issue. Let's take Surya. Hi, Surya.
Hi, Vimoh. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay. So the question, I did you see the chat? I think I might have put it there.
Let's see. Hmm. Why don't you tell me? There's a lot of stuff in here.
Okay. I'll make it quick. So like oftentimes I see like with respect to comedians, right?
Hmm.
Like sometimes I see comedians who like make like who basically like spout bigotry, but then what they do is like I've seen like people who defend them. They say, "Oh, this is a joke. Why are you so serious about it?" So my question to you is like, how do we deal with bigotry, which is like masked as jokes? Like,
What kind of bigotry?
it can be any sort of bigotry. Like let's like you can
Well,
take
I'm
misogyny for
asking.
example.
I'm only asking because a lot of people will call a lot of things bigotry. Some people will call me a bigot also. So I need to know what you're talking about.
Okay, like we'll take an example. Let's say
Hmm.
misogyny. Like people can make jokes that are misogynistic.
Yeah.
So like how do we deal with like those kind of jokes? I'll put that in quotes actually.
What do you mean by deal with them? Like how? Like
How
what
do
are
we
the
like
choices?
confront like comedians who make such jokes?
Okay.
Like how do we?
You can tell them this is not cool, man. You're encouraging gender stereotypes. You are creating social conditions where women will, like, people will use this kind of a joke to humiliate women or make their life more difficult. The goal is to punch up instead of punch down, right? So
Right.
if a comedian is talking about a group that is marginalized in society, then they should get called out, and you should like tell them and their fans that this kind of thing is not cool.
Right. And what about the like? It's just a joke. Why are you getting so serious about it? Like they tell like.
I have actually written a long ass piece about this. It was about comedians and caste based jokes.
Okay.
So I'll share that in the chat. You can read it. In fact, I have in fact read it out on more than one occasion on this live stream also. Uh, oh wait, I have it here. I'll share it in the chat, and you can read it. Hold on.
Okay.
Mm, there, it is shared. You can read it, and I think इसके बारे में और कुछ ज़्यादा बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. I pretty much wrote this long ass thing to address this particular point only.
All right. Okay. That's it. That's all I have for now.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye bye. Okay. Let's see if Rhythm is back. Hi. Hi, Rhythm. Rhythm, your audio is still not working. You're not on mute. Nope. Still not working. Let me try. Okay. Rhythm, are you here?
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sounds perfect.
इसको जैसे ही साउंड्स परफेक्ट बोलता है इसका कट जाता है. This time तो he's disappeared altogether. Okay. Let's take Dhruval. Hi, Dhruval.
Hi, Dhruval.
Hi, Vimoh.
Hey.
So, Vimoh, actually, I just have one question.
Can you speak a little louder?
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah, sure. So,
Also,
actually,
are you
I
using
Also,
Chrome?
are you using Chrome?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, I'm getting an echo.
Is that so? So,
Try a
wait,
different browser.
Try a different browser. Try.
I'll take you off.
okay.
Try a
I'll take
different
you off.
browser.
Try a different browser.
Okay.
Hmm. Let's try Rhythm again. Hi, Rhythm.
Hello, Vimoh sir. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, thanks, Science. First of all, मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि thanks a lot. I'm an avid viewer of your channel since past few weeks, and I've just received It Happened Tomorrow. I saw your bookshelf wali puri stream. I loved it throughout. I
Thank you.
love the idea of Indian science fiction authors and all, Marathi, Bengali.
Did
I'm very
you
excited to read it.
did you read It Happened Tomorrow?
No, no, no. I've just bought it. It's in my hand, and I can't wait to read it.
Okay. Try the Bengali
And
story first. The Bengali story that is set in Kolkata and involves a tanga. That's my favorite one.
okay, okay, okay. I'll see. There are so many of them.
And
Just the
and there is
names
a
are so intriguing.
and there is a story called Twice Upon a Time. That's also quite good.
Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. By Mukul Sharma. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
I love it.
Cool.
And
What did you want to talk
meanwhile,
about?
yeah, so let's say I'm 21 years old. I'm
Okay,
also an aspirational writer like you. I've binge watched all of your videos on Vimoh's desk. I loved all your videos.
thanks,
And
man.
the thing is, a lot of time, like when I saw Lord of the Rings after I love Game of Thrones. But when I was watching
Hmm.
Lord of the Rings, I still haven't completed the third part because I was not able to connect with their fantasy. Like I can connect sometimes. I love Western, I love like American and Japanese animes, but sometimes
Hmm.
there's a certain disconnect with the historical, periodic, like their way of thinking and all. Therefore, like I bought this book, and therefore I think I love Bahubali and Raja Muli's RRR too, which have so many references of Indian, even like Mani
Hmm.
Ratnam's atheistic and all. Even if you wanna present, like I can't wait to read your Yugantar, where
Hmm.
Devtas will be villain and Rakshas will be hero. I'm like,
If I ever finish it.
oh, you will, man. I'll boost you. I'll just fan mail you. Finish it, please, sir.
Okay, go on.
And I'll try to get a signed copy meanwhile. And I want to
That's
talk
too good.
like I grew
I
up
would
in a
also like
house
to have a
where,
signed copy written by myself if I ever finish it.
बिल्कुल सर हम तो सजा के रखेंगे ही। बाकी like my father recites Hanuman Chalisa on daily basis. I grew up
Hmm.
watching like 2002 Hanuman film animated. I love it. I love Hanuman Chalisa too. And
Hmm.
Hanuman Returns, which was like वो देवलोक में दिखा रहे हैं कंप्यूटर में मानवता का ग्राफ बढ़ रहा है क्राइम्स बढ़ रही है एंड ऑल आई लव्ड इट अनुराग कश्यप की सारी थी वो
Guilty
एंड
pleasure movies. Yeah.
yeah, I love them. Like I love absurd nihilistic comedies. And उसी के संदर्भ में मैंने आपसे पूछना था कि
Hmm.
जब मैं because I'm also an aspirational writer, उसकी भी अभी टिप्स लेनी है आपसे. But जब मैं लिखने की कोशिश करता हूँ ना, तो क्योंकि मैं उनसे
Hmm.
कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाता, तो मेरा मन होता है कि मैं अपने कल्चर से लाइक भूत,
Hmm.
पिशाच, प्रेत कितना कुछ है हमारे यहाँ पे, कितना
Yeah,
कुछ है.
yeah.
उसमें से कुछ लाइक रेफरेंस लेके लिखूं ताकि हम कनेक्ट करें अपनी चीज से अलग ही कनेक्ट होता है तभी रामायण और
Hmm.
महाभारत के संदर्भ में जैसे आपने रावणायन भी एक मैंने आपकी स्ट्रीम सुनी थी मैंने अभी पढ़ी नहीं है आई लव टू रीड इट एंड
Hmm.
उसी के संदर्भ में मैंने आपसे पूछना था कि हाउ डू यू लुक एट रामायण और महाभारत और जितनी भी सारी देवी देवताओं की या फिर भूत पिशाच की कहानी है एंड हाउ डू यू डिफाइन लाइक गुड एंड evil इन दैट
Well, my definition of good and evil has changed a lot over the years. When I was young, I used to think of Ramayana and Mahabharata as ancient Indian epics and stuff. Now I still think they're good stories, but I think of them as, fantasy novels written during the Mauryan period. So
फेरी टेल्स
I
एंड ऑल
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, every fairy tale is based on some bit of reality, right? Even the Lord of the Rings
या
was a result of J.R.R. Tolkien's
कल्चर
experiences during the Second World War. And later on, he tried to connect it to the real world also, right?
या
Uh,
या
Game of Thrones happens on a
या
secondary Earth, as in people, cultures, etc., are
या
kind of similar to ours, but the map
यस
of the world is different. It's not this planet. So
यस
there are
यस यस
various ways of doing it. uh, Yogantar, for example, is not even happening on a secondary Earth. It's happening on an alien world where
या लव इट
certain concepts are familiar enough that you recognize them as Vanar, Gandharv, God, etc. Even though it's all science fiction. So there are various ways of doing it. There are plenty of channels on YouTube which you can watch about how to world build and all. Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, how do you define good and evil? For instance, let me add more to it. Like Zarathustra from Persian history. I have not like read his scriptures and all, but jitna maine suna hai ki he made like scripture and all where all the Agni and all like Vedic gods were villains and all the
Hmm.
Rakshas were hero. And you are doing also
Hmm.
something same where like Mani
Yeah, yeah,
Ratnam's Ravan or your Ravanan or
yeah. My
Yugantar
stories usually have Rakshas heroes. Yes.
yeah, I would love to see that. And in that context, like because in my family, journals say belief wise, we love like I love Ramayana, man. I love so much, and I love like Ram, and but I'm able to accept your interpretation of it. I'm very
Hmm.
open to it. So,
Hmm.
like in your case,
So
like, do you feel like it's an like atheistic Karanti when you like because you see ki it's an like religion and all, it's a dogmatic thing, so we are breaking chains and all. Or how do you perceive good and evil? कि मैं evil लोगों को good
are you
दिखाऊंगा, good को
asking me
evil
about how
दिखाऊंगा.
I see the Ramayana, or are you asking me about how I see good and evil?
Uh, I think they are ये एक दूसरे से connected है कि उसमें
हाँ,
good
बट
और evil है
एग्जैक्टली
जो.
सेम क्वेश्चन नहीं है ना, तो मैं पहले गुड एंड इविल का बता देता हूँ. It
Yeah.
is my view, my view about good and evil has changed in the last few years, and now I am unable to think of things that I thought of as good, and things that I thought of as evil. I think that my lens has shifted completely from good and evil to powerful and powerless.
Okay.
So through that lens, my idea of evil would be irresponsibility and cruelty. And my idea
Okay.
of good would be the desire to fight back against irresponsibility and cruelty. So
Amazing. Classic.
Yugantar definitely has that theme. You'll see that theme in Darshan also. Ravana, and you will
Mm-hmm.
not see this theme in, because Ravana was written when I was quite young and I was a
Yeah.
believing Hindu at that point of time. So
Yeah.
things change, writers change, ideas change. Ramayana, I obviously have a soft corner for, but I don't think of it as anything other than a fantasy story now.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
when I look at the Ramayana, the story, I still feel an emotional connect to a lot of characters.
Yeah.
But I also realize that these characters mean very different things to various people. What I
Yeah.
used to think of as a hero once upon a time, now I see
Hmm.
that many people think of them as the source of all their,
Evils.
grief in life. There are
Hmm.
goddesses, right? There are
Yeah.
goddesses who you have a very clean, clear image of in your mind. But the only way a Dalit Bahujan Adivasi person thinks of that goddess is that this goddess is what prevented us from getting an education, because apparently we are not good enough.
So one thing I would, because I have a lot of things written down, till let me know if like I need to be succinct and all. But
Hmm.
let's say talk about Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasi. So
Hmm.
I am a journal caste person. I am a Savarna and all, and
Hmm.
I grew up in Punjab in Jalandhar, which
Hmm.
has like a very thriving diversity, and I love with that. हमारे यहाँ पे लंगर वगैरह साथ में बैठ के एक ही बर्तन में खाना खाते हैं. Some of my
Hmm.
best friends and like most of the people I grew up around in schools and in my even in my college I used to hang out. पहले तो हम like caste religion नहीं देखते. मेरे कश्मीर से भी बहुत अच्छे मुस्लिम friends है, Christian भी है बहुत अच्छे. तो कास्ट में भी मेरे like सारी more or less to say कि सारे क्या कहते हैं कास्ट में से मेरे यार दोस्त है. सॉरी तो
Okay.
लाइक पंजाबी टच आ जाता है मेरी हिंदी में. तो वो भी क्योंकि अब उसमें भी बहुत ज्यादा डाइवर्सिटी है. जैसे चमकीला फॉर इंस्टेंस वो द शेड्यूल कास्ट पर्सन, उनका
Hmm.
पंजाब में आप उनके गाने सुनना, आई लव हिम. उन पे अभी इम्तियाज अली एक फिल्म भी बना रहे हैं दिलजीत दोसांझ के साथ. एक सरदार उधम फॉर इंस्टेंस है रामगढ़िया, विच
Hmm.
इज लाइक शेड्यूल कास्ट. बट वो बंदा, अब थोड़ा मैं सेंटिमेंट बोलूंगा, वो ना देखना कि मतलब अंग्रेज, हम जैसे पंजाब में कहते हैं कि अंग्रेजों में वो बदला लेने गए थे हमारे जलियांवाला बाग में सिकर का.
Hmm.
तो लाइक एक बहुत ज्यादा न्यूएंस रही है, और मेरे भी काफी सारे फ्रेंड्स है
ये जो
जो शेड्यूल
कास्ट का
कास्ट
जो
कम्युनिटी.
आप नुआंस कास्ट का जो आप
हाँ जी.
नुआंस की बात कर रहे हैं ना, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस
हाँ
बिटवीन
जी.
इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स and
हाँ जी.
like for example, there may be white people who are racists
या
who
या
enjoy hip hop, right? So to
या.
enjoy the products of someone's culture or someone's art
हम्म
or even someone's labor
हम्म.
is not the same as appreciating them on the same level as a human being. There are plenty
हाँ
of
जी हाँ
people
जी हाँ जी.
who'll be nice to the person who is from a scheduled caste background, but that
या
does not mean that they will be willing to marry their daughters into their family, right? So
या.
that's where caste really manifests.
कि शादी वगैरह में आपका वो ना होए कि दोस्त बना
शादी
लिए बट
वगैरह,
शादी ना.
घर में बुलाना, एक बर्तन में खाना, उनके घर जाना, उनको अपने घर आने देना, आस-पास रहना, भेदभाव ना करना, that is the true test of caste
एक
awareness.
दूसरे का लाइक झूठा झूठा भी हम खाते हैं मजे से. हम लाइक वो है ना थोड़ी लड़कों की मुंडे यारी यारी दोस्ती, तो मजे से
Hmm.
खाते हैं हम एक दूसरे का.
Hmm.
बाकी मीनवाइल दे ऑल आर लाइक, मेरा एक फ्रेंड है, ही इज फ्रॉम अ शेड्यूल कास्ट बैकग्राउंड, रविदास बैकग्राउंड,
Hmm.
एंड ही इज अ ह्यूज स्टॉन्च डिवोटी ऑफ लॉर्ड शिवा. वो
Hmm.
लाइक मैं तो इतने रखता भी नहीं हूँ वो सारे सोमवार के इवन दो आई लव शिवा एंड ऑल आई एम लाइक आई लव लिसनिंग टू योर एथियस्ट एंड ऑल बट आई एम आल्सो डिस्कवरिंग एथिज्म एंड ऑल मोर आई एम वेरी ओपन
Hmm.
अबाउट ऑल द फैक्ट्स
I
एंड
think I would recommend that. So, कई बार there is a live stream called Science Journey. Have you heard of it?
yeah I'll
तो
write it down.
साइंस
I
जर्नी
used to
पे
like watch them a lot.
साइंस जर्नी
Yeah,
पे कभी-कभी लोग आते हैं जो कि एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी बैकग्राउंड से होते हैं और अपने आप को कट्टर
I
हिंदू
know,
बोलते हैं। So
I
they
know.
explain to them about their own past and their own heritage,
Yeah,
etc., in ways that
yeah,
are more sensitive than someone like me can manage, given that that is not a conversation for
exactly,
me to have. So I would
exactly.
recommend that you should recommend to your friend that they watch Science Journey. They're free
Okay,
to have their religious views, but where those
yeah,
religious views come, what they genuinely
yeah.
represent, is something important for them to know.
Because sometimes when we talk about like caste-based violence and all, first of all, like I loved when we used to talk about it, and he was like कि मैंने सुना है उत्तर प्रदेश वगैरह पंजाब में भी होता है, हर जगह होता है। उत्तर
Hmm.
प्रदेश में किसी घोड़ी पे बैठा था और उन्होंने कह दिया कि हम
Hmm.
राजपूत घोड़ी पे बैठते थे, तुम कैसे बैठ
Hmm.
गए? I
Hmm.
fucking hate that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
क्या यार, human
खाली
है,
खाली
human है,
बोलते नहीं है,
human.
मार देते हैं, जान से मार देते हैं।
Can't
There have
even.
been
अभी
there have
ये
been
एक
stories
civil.
about people sitting on a chair and getting
Oh
shot
my
because
God.
of it. Yeah.
Like, have you seen that Ravish Kumar video where आगे जमीन पे बैठ रहे हैं रविश का नीचे काहे बैठ रहे हो ऊपर बैठो
हाँ. I
you
haven't seen
know
it.
it's
I
like
think, but
horrendous
that's
man.
understandable.
Then let's move on to another one because you're running out of time. I don't know.
हाँ, make this
Uh,
your last one. Make this your last one.
okay, so I'll keep coming back, let's say. And the last one is, of course, very personal. So I also think about like I love astronomy, anthropology, history, and all. I love upload. Please upload more on Vimoh's desk, and I visualize a lot.
Hmm.
Fictions, adventures, and all. And like, I loved your Antim Sakshi and all. But like the way I visualize characters and worlds and different worlds and let's say planets and galaxies and their functionalities, how can I pen it down? Because like when I pen it down, I'm like, वो बात नहीं आ रही है जो मैं सोचने में ला पा रहा हूँ. So you have any
Oh
suggestion for
yeah.
that for a
Hmm.
aspiration writer? Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. Hmm.
Books or anything because I do like watch a lot of books
No,
about how
first of
to
all, there
write
is
it.
no.
And
First of all, there is no clear answer to. There is no clear answer to how do you pen it down, right?
yeah,
The answer is obviously always just pick a piece of paper, pick up a pen,
yeah,
and write. There is no how.
yeah,
You just have to do it. Secondly,
yeah,
maybe try not to be a perfectionist because no matter how
yeah,
beautiful the idea seems in your head, it's always going to come out looking like a piece of shit.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
always going to look like a piece of shit. The magic
yeah.
happens when you're editing it. When you're writing
Mm-hmm.
down, don't worry about how good it is. When you're
Yeah,
editing, that's when you can carve it into a shape that you think looks nice. So writing के टाइम पे
yeah,
इसकी चिंता मत करो, लिख दो, कचरा लिखो, साइड में रख दो,
yeah.
2 हफ्ते बाद वापस आओ, उसको एडिट करो, तब you can fix it.
Okay, 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 okay. Like drafts पे drafts फिर उसी पे editing करके last में you can finally
Yes.
you get more
Never
closer to what you visualize.
never publish your first draft. There are
No,
some
no.
writers who write second drafts and third drafts. There are some
Yeah.
writers who write 15 drafts. Like they
Oh,
will write an entire novel of 80,000 words, then they will
yeah,
rewrite 15 times before it gets right.
yeah.
It's hard work. It
Yes,
depends on the
man.
kind of writer you are.
I'll try your like write every day. I saw your video where you were like, I write every day,
If
5
I could
a.m.
take
in the
that
morning.
advice myself, my life would be much better. मैं बोल तो देता हूँ पर खुद भी नहीं कर पाता कभी-कभी.
I'll like I think क्योंकि वो एक mentality होती है ना कि I need to be an artist first. I need to write something and I need to like get to your level because आपने तो डिटेक्टिव बोधी जो मैंने पढ़नी है अभी अंतिम साक्षी वगैरह पब्लिश कर रखी है. अंतिम
डिटेक्टिव
साक्षी I
बोधी
love.
का डिटेक्टिव बोधी का एक ही चैप्टर है. उसको पढ़ोगे
हाँ
तो
हाँ.
तुमको ये प्रॉब्लम दिखेगा क्योंकि उसमें भगवान को भी यही प्रॉब्लम होती है.
अच्छा मैंने वो
मतलब जो
एक्चुअली मेरे को आइडिया ही नहीं है किस पे बेस्ड है अभी मैं आई वुड लव इट आई लव द पोस्टर ऑफ इट
हाँ, ठीक है. Cool rhythm.
बाकी
Thank you.
लास्ट थिंग आई लव यू पाजी keep
Oh,
making content and keep inspiring us lots of love
thank you. Thank you, Rhythm. Bye-bye.
bye
Hmm. Right. So that was Rhythm. I think I already took. Okay, Dhruval is there. Dhruval, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi. सॉरी
हाय,
अगर
व्हाट्स अप?
बैकग्राउंड से आवाज आ रही हो तो
नहीं,
आज
अभी
की
और
वाली
एको नहीं आ रहा, बताओ।
okay. So Vimoh, actually I'm exploring atheism these days, but
कैन यू स्पीक अ लिटिल लाउडर?
so मतलब अभी मैं like atheism को ऐसा एक्सप्लोर कर रहा हूँ, बट आई नोटिस दैट वन थिंग कि जब भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है देन आई कीप टर्निंग अराउंड गॉड, भगवान भगवान भगवान, मेरे सॉल्यूशन, बिकॉज आई कम फ्रॉम रियली लाइक मैं बहुत लाइक कहते हैं ना धार्मिक इंसान था, एंड आई बिलीव दैट एट इन माई हार्ट और इन माई माइंड दैट पार्ट इज स्टिल अलाइव, एंड कुछ कभी भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है, सो आई लाइक प्लीज गॉड, ओ प्लीज गॉड, सो हाउ कैन आई डील विद
अच्छा,
दैट?
कुछ फ़ायदा होता है प्लीज़ गॉड बोल के?
हु नोस, इन लाइक आखिर में जो करना है वो मुझे ही करना है.
हाँ,
सो
तो
आई
प्लीज़
डोंट
गॉड
थिंक
बोल के फ़ायदा क्या होता है?
ये यही में
नहीं, मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ कि आर यू डूइंग इट प्योरली आउट ऑफ हैबिट और आर यू डूइंग इट बिकॉज़ यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट?
मे बी इट्स आउट ऑफ हैबिट, बट इट्स
हाँ,
कीप इरिटेटिंग मी लाइक हमेशा क्या भगवान 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 भगवान.
दैट्स ओके,
इट्स
आदत छूट जाएगी। अभी अभी कुछ टाइम पहले एक कॉलर आए थे जो कह रहे थे कि ओके ध्रुवल, अपने आप को मैं आपको थोड़ी टाइम के लिए म्यूट कर रहा हूँ जब तक मैं बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि एक एको आ रहा है। हाँ, आपने म्यूट कर दिया। सो कुछ टाइम पहले एक कॉलर था जिसने कहा कि मैं गॉड को नहीं मानता हूँ, पर मेरे मुँह से कभी-कभी ओह गॉड वगैरह निकल जाता है। इट्स नॉट अ ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम, but if you think it is a problem, then you can remove it. You can take care to make sure that you don't say it, right? So if you find yourself turning to God, just remind yourself that it's a habit that you do no longer believe in and it will stop in due course of time. The fact that you have the habit is not surprising. If you've done this your entire life and now you are deciding not to do it, it is not surprising that you feel like निकल जाता है कभी-कभी. बट अगर तुमको लगता है कि नहीं होना चाहिए, तो तुम रोक सकते हो अपने आप को। हाँ, बोलिए।
okay. And there is one more thing. I
हुँ,
don't think I'm becoming atheist because of like God. मेरा प्रॉब्लम है लोगों से, because I believe people create like culture, not culture create people. So जब like people say ये हिंदू ने बनाया, ये यहाँ लिखा, ये वहाँ लिखा,
हुँ।
that's the main reason I'm more turning like atheist बन रहा हूँ. So क्या it's a right thing to do?
हाँ, श्योर, देयर इज़ नो लाइक हू एम आई टू टेल यू व्हाट इज़ द राइट वे टू बिकम एन एथिस्ट एंड व्हाट इज़ नॉट।
That's
एथिस्ट मीन्स समवन हू डज़ नॉट बिलीव दैट गॉड एक्सिस्ट्स। इफ यू डू नॉट बिलीव दैट गॉड एक्सिस्ट्स, देन यू आर एन एथिस्ट।
actually I don't mind believing in God, but it's कहते हैं ना कि
इट्स
एक
नॉट अ माइंड थिंग, राइट? डू यू रियली थिंक गॉड एक्सिस्ट्स?
ऐसे लाइक सोचे तो लगता है हाउ कैन इट पॉसिबल, क्यों होना
हाँ, तो
चाहिए, इज
दैट्स
देयर
व्हाट।
ओनली ओके. सो या दैट्स ऑल विमो,
इट्स नॉट
थैंक
लाइक
यू.
अगर मैं बोलूँ कि तुम्हारे सिर के ऊपर एक इनविजिबल हिप्पोपोटामस अभी उड़ रहा है, विल यू बिलीव मी?
नोप,
Right? If I
एविडेंस
said
नहीं है
just
ना,
try to believe, if I said just try to believe me, will you be able to?
एविडेंस नहीं है, एंड
हाँ, तो
आई
वही
कंसीडर
प्रॉब्लम है।
माई सेल्फ, तो
Yeah,
नहीं हो सकता मेरे से.
that's the problem.
ओके, सो थैंक यू सो मच विमो.
That's all? Cool.
या
Thank you. Bye bye. That was Dhruval. And we have come to the end of today's live stream. Everyone else who's left in the queue, you can leave and maybe try next week. And yeah, let me just take a look at the super chats. Arey, Golu aaya. Golu. Hi, Golu. Golu sent $2. Golu Sama is here. Thank you, Golu. Valkyrie, thank you for the $1.99. How can Patreon members watch Wednesday streams? I will share a link on Patreon through which you can join. If you are not a member on YouTube, you can become a member on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Vimoh and you can become a member there. And Wednesday को live stream शुरू होने से पहले I will share a link on Patreon which you can click and join. Also, if you want to not become a member on YouTube or Patreon, you can become a subscriber on Instagram. Instagram पे भी अब वो feature आ गया है. Go to my profile and click on the subscribe button and you can become a member there. Once you become a member, there is a group there. Vimo's subscribers only. Join it. That link is also on my profile. And before the Wednesday live stream, I'll share a link there also. So if you don't want to support on YouTube, you can support on Patreon or Instagram, and I'll share the link with you. So Yeah, that's how you do it. Thank you. काफी लंबा लाइव स्ट्रीम हो गया. 1 घंटा, sorry, oh wow, 2 घंटा 9 मिनट. Is this the longest we have ever gone? No, I think we have gone longer. But oh wow, आज मैंने बहुत सारे कमेंट आए जो ऑब्वियसली सारे पढ़ नहीं सकता. बट सुपर चैट वगैरह 20 आए हैं, सुपर चैट प्लस मेंबर्स. सो कूल. Again, I'll remind everyone that the Wednesday live stream is going to be members only, at least for now. I still have doubts about it. I still am wondering if this is a good thing to do, or maybe the free live streams are better and maybe I can do something else for subscribers. But let's see. Let's do this Wednesday's live stream members only and take some feedback from people about what we can do. I do want to have a members only thing. By the way, the episode counter, like then this is episode number 230, right? The Wednesday members only thing will not be part of the counter. That will be a separate show. So Vimoh Live episode 230, 231, 232 will continue, but these will now only happen on Saturdays. Also, another thing I wanted to mention, I will make a detailed post about it. I will be unavailable from 17th to 26th. So इन दिनों के बीच में लाइव स्ट्रीम नहीं हो पाएगी, मेंबर्स भी नहीं और नॉन मेंबर्स भी नहीं. आई मे बी ट्रैवलिंग. सो पहले से बता दिया, इस वेडनेसडे का लाइव स्ट्रीम मेंबर्स ओनली है. उसके बाद वाला लाइव स्ट्रीम 17 से 26 के बीच वाला जो डेट है वो नहीं होगा. 26 को मेरे लौटने के बाद लाइव स्ट्रीम्स होंगे. यार अभी भी कौन ज्वाइन कर रहा है? अभी ज्वाइन मत करो. और so yeah, thank you everyone for joining today's live stream. Many thanks to everyone who joined. Consider becoming a member by clicking the join button or supporting on Patreon or through UPI. The handle is Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH@UPI. And I will see you on the Wednesday members only live stream. If you are a member, you can join it. Until then, please take care of yourselves and good night.